What is up, Dog Pound? Welcome to another episode of the Bearded Browns podcast, the only show where the beards are strong, but the takes are even stronger. This week, we're going to come in hot, fresh off the Tuscarawas Browns backer event, where we're going to talk about how we hung out with some of the legends of the Browns, and then we're going to get into retweet and delete. We'll also talk about some of our tight ends, which we're pretty excited about. We'll also dive into Shedeur Sanders and his speeding issues. We're going to address that. You know, we haven't addressed it. It seems like old news because it happened last week. So we're going to address it.
The way I look at it, it's better than doing speed, but let's go.
Either way, we're going to talk about it. But first, let's start off. Let's start off with our event that we went to this weekend, Mike. The Tuscarawas Browns and Backers Legends Bowling Meet and Greets. It was fun. Sam had the opportunity to go one-on-one with our good friend now. I think he's family at this point, Ralph Holly Jr.
Yeah,
how was
absolutely.
that? How was that, Sam?
Absolutely. It was really easy. It was easy. Like, I got a chance to. I wanted to get more interviews in, but I did get of the likes of Felix Wright. I did get in Travis Tucker and Ralph Holly. And it was just it was I wouldn't even say chaotic. It was just a little busy, but it was really good to sit down with Ralph again. And interviews get easier as you build a reputation with people and stuff like that. Because like my first couple of interviews, guys, I got to admit, it's my first time doing one-on-ones. And with Felix Wright, I was nervous. And Travis Tucker, to me, looked intimidating. Not even gonna lie. And when I sat down with him, the first couple questions, he seemed like that to me. But as we talked, things got better. And then Ralph, I did was my last interview of the day. But before Ralph, he was bowling. Ralph's dad came up to me and pulled me aside and said, "Hey, what's going on, man? What's up, my guys? I always like to see you guys up here." And me and Ralph's dad talked for like 15 minutes. And it made the interview even easier to talk to Ralph because I already talked to his dad. It was easy. We were all kind of filling each other in on things, and definitely feels more like family around there now. So but we're building relationships, fellas. That's for sure. You know, because his dad, they come down from Michigan when he's got events, and then they always supporting him, and they always go up. But he came to me, "Hey man, come on. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? How's your wife? What's going on?" So it was really great event, man. I had a really good time, and it was a really good interview, you know. So let's keep them coming. I feel a little more confident now because it was, like I said, my first time doing some interviews. So I was a little bit, you know, tripping. I'm like, whoa, man, this is really happening. So it's going to be easier now, guys. Everybody puts our pants on the same, I hope. So,
Yeah, I just want to say, Sam, you did a really
time and a half.
Yeah, you did a really good job. I know you said you were nervous, but you didn't look nervous.
I straight up told Felix Wright. I straight up told Felix Wright, we're sitting there, he's right in front of me. I go, "Sir, good to see you. Before anything, I said, I'm going to be real quick, real easy, real quick questions, nothing crazy." And I said, "This is my first time doing my first personal interview." And he goes, "Today?" I go, "No, anytime." He goes, "Oh, okay, man, no problem. We'll be fine. Don't worry about it. We'll get through it together." I'm like, "All right, that's my guy." So it was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun, Mike.
Go ahead. I was going to say, if you guys want to see the Ralph Holly one, that is up on our website at beardedbrowns.com. Exclusively there. You can go and check that out. It's an awesome interview, and there's going to be more to come.
Yes, a couple more. About 3, 4 more to come. It was a fun event, Mike. You were back there doing the taping or recording. How was that for you?
It was fun. It was a new experience for me as well because I got the new camera and we were testing things out. Next time, I think I'll record in 4K, but wasn't trying to blow the camera up on day one, I guess. But
it's like, what's smoking? My camera.
Yeah, but we did get to meet a lot of cool people. We met Mike Pruitt, Greg Pruitt, Felix Wright, Travis Tucker, Ralph Holly, and Anthony Griggs. Anthony Griggs is an amazing guy. I actually pulled him aside and talked to him for a little bit. I can't wait to have him on the show. But like you said, when we walked up to Travis Tucker, I was walking around the bowling alley. And I saw Travis Tucker, and Sam's like, "Get him." And I'm like, no, dude, you get him. Look at that dude.
The drawing straws.
So I walk over there, and he's on his phone, and I interrupted a mid-text, dude. I was like, "Hey, Travis, nice to meet you, man.
Did
My
you,
name
like,
is Mike
cover
from
the
the
phone and push it
Bearded
down?
Browns." Like,
Did you
dude, you want
push
to?
the phone down like this? Like, hey,
Yeah,
what's
no,
up?
yeah. Hey, I
Bearded
need you.
Browns.
This is
And
very
he turned
important.
around.
This
He
is very
turned around and
important.
looked at me, dude, and I was like, "Holy crap, this dude
Can
is."
you interview?
Yeah, I was like, "Can
You
we get a
start
quick interview?"
cracking.
And he's like, "Man, 5 minutes. I just bowled a strike." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah, you're right.
all right,
And
man.
he was
Let's do
there,
this."
and he ended up being there for like what,
Oh
7, 8
man,
minutes?
12.
12, almost
Yeah,
13
see?
minutes, man. Yep,
So that
yep.
shows how good Sam did and made him feel comfortable. So good job on that. I had the opportunity to sit there and bowl with my daughters, which was it went from, helping you guys set up, doing what you guys were doing, to like being a participant in the event, which was really cool to see. Actually, believe it or not, a couple people from there, outside of Rich and Jason, came up to me. He's like, "Hey, I love the podcast." I'm thinking like, sweet. Okay. Well, look, we're getting somewhere. So it's good to see our hard work pushing forward, even down south there a little bit. So shout out to Rich and Jason for sharing our pod down there. I'm pretty sure that's where how large our reach is going down there. That's pretty dope. Yeah, it was fun. Actually, I was bowling, and I was showing my girls how to bowl. Because I'm a bowler.
They were showing you how to bowl.
Yeah, they were showing me how to bowl. And Rob Holly actually came up to me like, I knew I recognized this beautiful bearded man from somewhere. I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" So I was able to talk to a couple like 5-6 minutes, and then he went off, and because he was there to meet other people. If not, he probably would have sat there with us. But yeah, it was a really fun event. Rich and Jason, perfect event. For the first time, it was amazing. They had every lane was filled. There was a lot of people down there. They gave up a lot of prizes, and I really think that was probably one of the best events I've been to. So huge shout out to the Browns backers for that. Also, huge shout out to Jason and Rich for the sign behind me right there.
Yep.
Displaying our coveted award of the best sports podcast in Cleveland. Rich made that himself.
What a bummer.
Yeah, Rich made that himself and gave us each one. So thanks for that, man. Appreciate it. I'll be displaying that for a while.
Yep, and thanks, guys. Rich, Jason, thanks for the lids. As soon as we walked in, we all got a Tuscarawas Browns backers cap, man. We really appreciate you guys. All the staff at Wabash, Aaron, the owner there, all those guys were really great. Thanks for taking care of us, man. And definitely would like to be doing something else down there in the future endeavors, man. Thank you guys.
And Marcus and Thurl, thanks for sharing the room with us.
Yeah.
That actually worked out fairly well.
Dogs.
We actually got the fair share of the room to do our interviews, so that worked out well.
We got to hang out with the My Dogs. We got to these guys got to be on the Dogs. So I got to hang out and talk to
a lot
Justin.
of dogs, man.
It's going down, man. That's what's happening.
I actually was going to bring that up too. Mike and I both had an opportunity to be on the Dogs podcast for, they said about 5-10 minutes, ended up being like 20-30 minutes. So we had
45.
a great 40. It was like 10 years.
While.
Yeah. Which was, it didn't feel like that long when they were there, but then when I got off, my kids were like, "Dad, that was forever." And I looked at my watch. I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, let's go get some ice cream."
I saw Winnie in the background running around.
Yeah,
dancing.
did you see her in the interview? She's like doing the Macarena in the background.
When we were going home, Angel, you said how the interviews that you got, how long did you think? I go 5 to 6 minutes, and then it turns out these were like 12-13 minute interviews, but to me it seemed that quick. So
yeah,
really good timing.
Yeah, huge shout out. I mean, I'm telling you, I've never been a part of a Browns backer event, and that was my first time. So I'm assuming most of them don't end up go that way, but that was
not
really
your first time.
Oh, I'm sorry, my second one, the Berea one was my first one. You're right. That was our first one. That one actually was pretty sweet too.
I never forget.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to share. I know we got a lot to cover. It's not really that much to cover. We'll get through it quick. But I do want to share, I was on a break. I walked outside. It's where they had the food trucks. I was on my way out. I was checking out the outside surroundings. I was coming back in. Ralph was walking out. And he's like, "Hey, what's up, my guy?" I happened to be on the phone with the wife, Jen. And I'm like, "What's up, Ralph?" I said, he goes, "How's everybody doing? How's the wife?" I said, "Here, I don't know. Here, talk to her real quick." And they had about a 5-minute conversation, which was really cool. So
that's what I mean by Ralph is like family at this point. He should be the honorary 5th member of the podcast. We have to talk to him like out the off season. We should have you on at least once a month.
He got that big old bushy beard.
Yeah,
so.
He did it too in the interview. You'll see him. But anyways, Ralph is the reason I'm wearing this hat right now today.
That's a sick hat too. He wouldn't give it to anybody.
I'm not.
Yeah. It was a fun night, fun time. Thank you guys for inviting us. It was a blast. We got some content coming. Like Mike said, beardedbrowns.com for our first interview with Ralph Holly. It's on the website now. Go there. We're going to start dropping all our big major media insight on our website. We're going to start generating traffic to our website. We've had it for a while now. It's time to display that beautiful thing Mike has put together. So go there, click on it, watch the interview. Also, just a quick note, and then we'll move on to retweet or delete. We also have voicemails on our website, so you can go to our website and then click on voicemail, and you can literally leave a take. Whatever take it is, just leave it, and then you make it played on the show right there. Send a voicemail.
Go to our website, you'll see that. It's you could actually click a tab that says voicemail, leave a voicemail, and your voice can be heard on the show.
Yep, it's easy, and it might play into a future segment like what fans need to, what the fans need to say. We'll make up a funny name, but it could be good. Speaking of
Chad
segments,
screens them, so they'll all be interesting, I'm sure.
Nope. Speaking of segments, let's get into it. Retweet or delete.
Retweet or delete.
Upgrade. The first one, McGuire's comments about Miles on the Hanford Dixon podcast. And he said this. I was hoping you would pull it up before I said it, and I'll look for it. Is he frozen?
Mike is just frozen.
Mike's just frozen. Awesome.
What timing?
I'll get it because I have it in my pictures. Either way, he was on the wasting time. Yeah, he's frozen.
Yeah, he's frozen.
He got booted. Basically, he said Miles does not want to be here. He got paid. He doesn't want to be here. You can tell that he doesn't want to be here because when he did his interviews, he looked very unexcited. I'm paraphrasing here.
I've got the quote for you. Honestly, Miles took the new contract, but he wasn't happy about it. McGuire said, you can see in his body language, he doesn't really want to be in Berea right now.
So
I want to say something real fast. Okay,
Go ahead.
I read this, and when it said Berea, where I read it at, it was spelled wrong. So I automatically went, whatever. Later, I'm done with the conversation already because you can't even spell Berea right. It was like Berea, Berie, some.
Which, by the way, is a delicious goat meat taco. For those of you that aren't out in the Mexican region.
Yeah. So my initial thought was, I seen a. I'm not even going to deal with that conversation. So
yeah, so
whatever.
No delete.
Yeah, he'll delete it.
That's delete for me. You can't even spell right. Get out of here. Gone.
And by the way, that was
did you guys stay live?
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
I think we did. I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, because my computer, I lost power for like 4 seconds.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, we're on. I'm
interrupting the segment, Mike.
I will never let it happen again until next time. I apologize.
So, Mike, what do you think about McGuire's comments about Miles? Retweet or delete?
Delete, man. It's a waste of time for you to sit here and have this stupid clickbait. If you want to make yourself look dumb like you did, then have at it. Miles is here, whether or not it's for the money, he's here. It's all that matters to Cleveland fans.
I mean,
what did you guys say? I missed all that.
Yeah, they basically.
I don't even disagree with him. I think Miles didn't want to be here, and Miles got a really big payday and decided to stay. But I've still deleted. I haven't seen anything from Miles in any capacity since training camp started that was not positive. So I think he's just trolling at this point with the his body language, this and that. Maybe months ago, but currently, nah.
He must not have watched the tape of Miles zooming through cones, bobbing, hitting bags. If he didn't want to be here, he wouldn't have been putting much effort into it. Also, too, if you're going off body language, he probably doesn't want to be here because he doesn't want to be at OTAs or mini camp. He probably will rather be practicing at home, but he's here. And if you're gonna go off body language, he's just doing an interview. But the only body language I'm concerned about is him doing the drills, being there with the team, talking in the huddle, and bonding with his teammates. You're looking too deep
Aaron
into this,
Rodgers
McGuire.
to the turf.
Yeah,
Anyways, who's Pat McGuire?
He's from
I'm
he's
kidding.
It's a local podcaster. He's actually Hanford Dixon's podcast. He's one of the talking
I know. I was just
producer, I believe.
You're being funny, Mike. I see what you were doing.
I don't know.
Sorry, I flew over my head.
Mike, while your power went out, they asked me. I said it's a delete because he couldn't even spell Berea right, so it was already spelled wrong in the text. Yeah, so I was already done with it. That's the only thing you missed for me, brother. That's it.
What's crazy? I was saying, Chad, that's an SI article that came out of. Someone wrote what he said, and then then they put their own opinion on it, basically, and put Berea and spelled it wrong. So it was weird.
Which is kind of crazy. They should probably check with their editor.
Yes. Next one. Terry Pluto said, for Shedeur, the reality is he is no longer special. Not in the eyes of the NFL. Only 7% of the starters come from the 5th round. Pluto wrote, it's true. Sanders has impressed the Browns with his work ethic and serious approach to learning the offense. He seems to have a connection with Joe Flacco. He also had some good days in front of the media during the Browns spring camp. But these are glorified touch football practices. If the real NFL were like this, Flacco will already be enshrined in the Hall of Fame. Retweet or delete. He basically is saying Shedeur is no longer special because, he's still slinging around with the 3rd and 4th stringers. I'm going to go first. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think I'm going to delete that. That's horrible. Like, it's horrible because, listen, like you basically say he's nothing special, but then you go on saying Sanders has impressed the Browns with his work ethic and serious approach of learning the offense. Well, that's special because if he's coming in and doing his job, then you should give him credit for that. Yes, he's not doing the 1st and 2nd string. Oh, well, but he's doing he's being faithful with what he has. And that alone is special because it could be a lot worse because we had a lot of draft picks that's coming here through Berea that did a lot worse than that. So delete.
I'm going to retweet because Terry Pluto, once it does happen, which I'm sure it will, you could eat your own words, man. It's a possibility. This can go either way. So retweet it and may the best man win.
Next.
I took this totally different from you guys.
Okay. Apparently. That's why I love doing this. Go ahead.
I read this as more of a, the hype is always out there for Shedeur Sanders, and had he got picked in the 1st round, sure, it would be worthy for everyone to be like talking about him whenever what's going on. But the reality is, because he fell to the 5th round, because he's not playing with the 1st stringers, he's just not special, like in the eyes of like NFL teams at this point. And we shouldn't be like looking at him as anything other than a guy at the bottom of the depth chart working hard to try to earn a spot. We should not be talking about him like, well, he's Deion Sanders' son, so he's going to be this big thing. He's just not. It didn't go the way they thought it would, and he's not like NFL royalty. He's just a guy trying to make a team. That's how I read it. And for that case, I actually agree with him. The only thing that he's wrong about is the world doesn't agree with him because all of the national reporters still lead every Brown story with him. So in the eyes of the media, he's special, but I would agree with him in the eyes of the NFL, they clearly don't see him as that.
Mine's real quick, delete, and whatever, Terry Pluto. I don't know. I just not feeling it. Reason why, just because it's too early, and you're gonna sit here and you're gonna try to act like who's Terry Pluto, God? You're gonna sit here and act like you know what he's gonna do, what he's not gonna do, how he's being held up. Oh, just because he's not playing against the ones, he's not gonna be on the team. He might be trade value, whatever. Shut up, dude. Just shut up. Really, seriously, because I got an inside scoop that the kids there first one there, last one to go home every day. So it's not like he's not putting the work in. And if Kevin's not giving him reps on them ones right now, it's for a reason, and he'll get there. So it's as simple as that. So just a bunch of.
So in other words, Sam is saying, Terry Pluto, keep your quarterback's name out your mouth.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of like that guy I feel the same way when I read this, when that guy was live standing behind Dylan Gabriel going, he's shorter than me. He's shorter than me. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Excuse my language. So that's just, I don't want to drag into it because there's nothing to really drag into. It's just some guy looking, he must want, he wants his name out there. That's the only thing I get out of that. So whatever. Bye. Delete.
Tell us how you really feel, Sam.
I keep it real because they're giving this kid all this static already. We're going to get into it, but it's with he's speeding and now he's this, he's that. He's not going to be any good now. It's ridiculous, dude. I can't even listen to these guys. I don't even know how they got a career in what they do. So whatever. Bye. Delete.
Just for the record, he wasn't speeding. But we'll get to that later. On to the next one.
He was
Camino Reed. He said, Camino Reed said, basically, if they, meaning the Browns, go 5-7, there's nothing stopping Deion from becoming the head coach of the Cleveland Browns.
Angel, why are you laughing?
Because it's just ridiculous, right? Think about this. Because Shedeur, and this is what people feared the most when we drafted Shedeur, right? People are like, well, the Shedeur haters are like, if you draft Shedeur, Deion's following right after him. Like, this type of take is such and I'm surprised I even wanted this on here because I'm actually giving this attention. But this is the type of stuff that I'm like, come on, dude. Like, you cannot believe that if Kevin goes 5-7 with the schedule he has, you think that you're going to have a coach who's still trying to figure out how to coach a college team automatically jump into the NFL world thinking that he's going to take care of that. Not to hate on Dan because he's done great things in Colorado, but he's still building there, and I think he's going to want to build more. But no, I delete this because I'm a Kevin fan. I think Kevin will be here another 2-3 years because I think that's what they've given him. And Cameo, please stop retweeting crazy stuff like this.
Right.
Yeah, next. I don't know what's I don't think it'll ever happen. Like you said, Angel, the dude's he'd had a decent record in Colorado. I don't think that, like Jen said, keep dads off the fields. We watched it with Odell Beckham as well. I just don't think it's the right thing to do just because it's his son. I don't think he's a great coach. I do love, however, in his photo, how they added Kevin Stefanski's face. But other than that, delete. This is not even worthwhile.
I mean, he does have that Denny's menu on the side of his hip there, so there's some.
You got a point. You got a point.
We're gonna run the moons up. We're gonna run the moons over my hammy on two.
The main problem with this is just worded terribly. There's nothing stopping Deion from becoming a head coach. There's a ton of things stopping him. The owner might not like him. The general manager might not like him. Paul DePodesta, who's been like re-signed to a high level role with the organization, might not. There's literally a whole list of things stopping him, along with the idea that he might not want to come coach in Cleveland. So there's things stopping him from every angle. This is a terrible quote, and if this were a tweet, it would definitely be a delete.
Yeah, it's a quick delete for me. This just seems like because we got this little downtime because they're on summer break. It's just something to talk about, and it's not really nothing to talk about. We might be talking 5-7 if Flacco's starting, and we're 5-7. That we might try to pull a Gabriel in or a Shedeur just to see how the rookies do. So whatever. Other than that,
the first 6 games of the schedule are tough games.
Yeah,
you got.
So
AFC
if you go
North
5-7, that's going to be a good record.
That's actually,
you got AFC North opponents, and then
right.
like the Lions and like Tigers and Bears. Oh my! I mean,
because we go Bengals, Ravens, Packers, Lions, Vikings, Steelers. You know, so if you can come out, just 3 out of those.
The chance of anyone not on this staff becoming the interim head coach after 12 games is just that's just would never happen.
Right.
Hey, Dion, can you
Never
stop
happened.
coaching Colorado for a couple weeks?
This reminds me of all those tweets. This reminds me of all those tweets where they like somebody tweets out like, "What about this trade offer? Who says no?" And you literally look at it and you're like, obviously this team says no. This is a terrible deal. Like sometimes both say no. Like, what are you talking about?
I mean,
Right.
now we're not taking nothing away from Dion. I just want to say that because he did turn that team down there around. I mean, they were a losing team. He did try to bring them around, so I will go with that. But like you said, like Angel said, man, you're just not going to go from Colorado into the professional coaching in the NFL. You might get in and maybe pull a defensive coordinator out of Dion or something like that, and then he'll integrate himself to a head coaching position. Not saying that he'll never be a head coach, but this statement right here is just way too premature for that to even be a topic of conversation. So,
Yeah.
And the reason why he would want Cleveland is because it's the NFL.
5-7 with this current roster and quarterback would guarantee Stefanski isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean that's insane.
right.
Because Vegas has you winning 5.5 right now? Vegas is saying 5.5
after
wins.
12 games, you've got 5 wins already. I feel like people will be like, "Oh,
all right, good." Yeah, that means you should get 7 to 8 wins.
So was that our first agreement on all delete?
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah. Because it's about Kevin. Don't mess with Kevin, man. You mess with Kevin, you mess with this podcast. Kevin, come on the podcast.
So unrealistic. It's the dumbest thought.
It's not even, Chad, it's not even reckless speculation. It's unrealistic.
Yeah.
It's unrealistic.
Like, people like put the most unlikely scenarios and they put them as if they're obvious. I'm like, what are you?
Right.
Oh, I have one of those
it
for
has
later.
to do with his son. He's like, well, his son is here, so that makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
Sanders is here. Why not bring his
His
father?
other son is for another team, and Travis Hunter's for another team. Like,
yeah.
Hey guys,
Right.
just so we're all aware, I have an unexpected thing for later.
Okay, well, that's always good to have. But
I mean, it's on our notes. We already know it's on our notes.
Got it.
Okay.
No, it's in the
good.
notes.
I'm just joking with you.
It's in the notes.
Okay, on to the next one. Q has become Qshawn. Quishon Junkins still hasn't signed. He's only 2 second rounders have signed their contract up to this point. 30 still are unsigned. Are you guys worried?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, we had a little conversation about this.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be worried if it wasn't just the scenario where all the first rounders signed first, and he's near the top of the second round. So there's a good chance. I think Mike made up the point earlier of like he's looking at how other deals are structured or what other guys are getting. It's just not a shock when you find out only 2 guys are signed. And since he's at the top of the round, what's more shocking to me is that Carson Schlesinger is signed already, since he was the first pick in that round, and nobody else in that round decided to sign anything. So good on the Browns for getting him done at the top of the list.
I mean, he's seeing what the market's doing. I think he's just seeing what's going on. Everybody would love to have that guaranteed contract. I know I would. I know any of you guys would love a guaranteed contract like that. So I think they're trying to see what's going on throughout the rest of the NFL in certain positions and what they're doing, what they're getting, what they're not getting. So I would say before training camp or right around training camp, he'll be signed in there.
If that's the case, are you guys all willing to sign a contract with me, saying you're going to be with me the rest of the year?
I don't know about that one.
I'll give you guys peanuts.
Me a lot of money, dude. You're gonna have to pay
I'll give you peanuts and ice cream.
For what Chad is making? Yeah.
Chad, yours is going to be a little difficult, but I'll get it there. It might be melted by
then. Me ice cream, I'm not signing.
So it's interesting because he was the first running back drafted after Genty, correct?
Second. Omari and Hampton.
Yeah, Omari Hampton. Okay, so maybe he's kind of what? Maybe he's waiting for him.
He was the first running back taken in the second round, which surprised a lot of people because I think a lot of people thought his teammate or Johnson for the Steelers would go next.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, because I was wondering.
Stick around. We're going to get to that. I'm sorry.
Diaz opening day quarterback roster.
Yeah, we'll get
stick around. We're going to get to that.
Training camp. How can you answer that question?
We're going to get to it.
We're not even in there yet. Anyways, on to the next topic on the paper. And it's Sanders speeding. Sanders has caught speeding not once, but twice within 2 weeks of each other.
He's out of here, dude. He's out of here.
Hey, he's
and Angel's right.
Delete.
This isn't fresh news, but we haven't
talked about it yet.
Really dive into it, so we won't take forever on it, but it is worth kind of debating a bit.
So
what's got a mustache? Oh no!
What we're going to establish here is a couple things. No, well, let me establish my take. I can't speak for the rest of you guys. No, I don't like Shedeur. I still like Shedeur. I still think he should be a quarterback for Cleveland. Okay, I still think he should stay on the team. But for those of you who are suggesting that he's done nothing bad, you are wrong. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all,
that comment.
Speed limits are not suggestions. If that was the case, then there won't be tickets written if you didn't pass the speed limit. Anyways, number one, you speed a week before you get caught, right? You don't learn. You get a ticket doing 92 and a 65. 2 weeks later, you are not speeding. You are not speeding. You are racing your girlfriend on a freeway. By the way, I live 5 minutes from this freeway in which he got caught at
12:45 at night.
12:45 at night.
In the morning.
No cars. I get it. In morning. But here's the deal. That is a deer graveyard. What I mean is there are deer popping out of that freeway daily. Matter of fact, Mike, I'm sure if you go down that down that freeway when you drive, you see a ton of deer. So there are many things that could have happened to him. But here's the deal. A lot of people don't talk about this. I had a couple of people comment saying he's just speeding on my personal pages and stuff. And I said, no, the difference between speeding and reckless driving was the ticket that he was given. The reason why his girlfriend did not get a ticket is because then it would have become reckless driving because they would be racing because they both got tickets. That's why he said, hey, I'm going to catch you a break. If you listen to the audio tape, I didn't give your girlfriend a ticket, but I have to give you a ticket. So what he's doing is reckless driving, not speeding. And I'm not dinging the kid. I don't think his character is bad. I'm not saying that he is a horrible person. What I'm saying is I think a lot of fans are underplaying this because they like Shedeur. What would have happened if he would have just turned a little bit and messed his car up? Killed himself, worst case scenario. Then a lot of fans probably would have been saying, yeah, Shedeur is silly for doing something so silly, So that's just my take on it. Like, dude, slow down, stop speeding. Yeah. We need you. You may be our future. We almost lost our future quarterback by you doing something silly.
And while I don't condone this, we have all been young and dumb. I've gone over 100 in my tow truck at work, and I'm not saying that it's okay.
Yeah, that's not okay.
I have a half hour to get to a police tow, correct? I also get an hour to get, like our normal ETA is an hour to get to a person to pick up. So I do speed in my tow truck, but because, everybody thinks that they're the only person broke down in America, apparently. And they call us 57 times, says, hey, where's my driver at? Even though when we put ourselves en route for the call that says, hey, we're on our way. We'll see you in however long. It like estimates a thing and sends it to them. If you're not there in that time, people call. Anyways, that's besides the point. My biggest thing is we've all been young and dumb. We've done it. I'm not condoning this by any means whatsoever. He is an advocate for the whole city as of right now. Everybody looks up to this kid. You saw it at that camp last week and that you went to, or 2 weekends ago. Everybody looks up to him. So yes, it is a kind of an arrogant, selfish move in the long run. Get over it. Everybody it's stupid. It was 12:45 at night. There's nobody on the road. Yes, he was racing his girlfriend. Was it stupid? Yes, but we have all done it. Angel drove us to the Tuscarawas Browns backers event last week and said he's only driven 85.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
I saw 91.
I didn't do 91. No. Listen, I thought you guys were going to kill me because I was
91.
I was grandpaing it because I'm a grandpa driver, and that was going to be my point. You guys, I drove you guys there, drove you back. You're probably thinking like, man, it's going to take us 3 hours to get this.
No, you drove good. And I do want to say you drove great, and your girls are so well behaved. You guys got raising great girls right there, man. They're really good kids, man. Just wanted to say that
cool.
to both of you guys, to you and Jen. It's awesome.
Thank you.
No, Ian. Yeah.
I don't know your kids. I don't like them. But
I don't know your kids. I don't like kids.
Chad was
Your kids are annoying.
Chad had it in the chamber. I heard it click. He went,
I don't like
What's
them.
your take, Chad? What's your take?
So
that was great.
through the
I
list.
don't know. I don't like them.
I don't know if I've ever gone 100, but I'm not sure I've ever driven a car where it would be fun to go 100. I've driven a lot of I've Jeeps and I've had a lot of crappy cars. Now I've got a hybrid SUV. Like that's not fun to speed in, but but I've definitely been close to going 90 just on road trips. I guess it got a little perspective came this week. Somebody mentioned like that, like they are familiar with where he's from, and the speed limits are like 80, and a ton of people are going like in the 90s all the time because of how high the speed limits are. Just like in Ohio, if it's 65 and you're going 75 or 80, and here it's 70, so you're going 80. But I guess it adds a little perspective when somebody's going that speed all the time, and also if you have cars like that are turbocharged or fun to get up to 100 miles an hour, or don't feel like you're absolutely like cranking on it, that might be a little different. So I didn't want to like go over the top on judging him. I guess the disappointment was not that he sped or that he was racing his girlfriend, because again, it's at night. He probably is like, nobody's gonna see us. He doesn't know that it's a deer graveyard every single place that you drive.
Also, I'm going to offer the Browns a tidbit. When you get your rookies into camp, you need to pinpoint where those markers are, where the cops are always at. Cops are always there. In Medina, where you first got pulled off, those are the same target spots. Like, just highlight it. If you're going to speed, don't speed here, everywhere else. I think Cleveland, you're fine. But in the suburbs,
the biggest disappointment for me is not the speeding, it's the judgment. Because when you found out he had just gotten a speeding ticket like a week earlier, I guess the question comes in like, quarterback has so much to do with judgment and decision making, and this isn't the same. But you would love it if you just had a quarterback who was not doing silly things. It's one of those, like, I'm not going to condemn him for doing it, but I would prefer to have a guy that didn't even want to drive 100 miles an hour. That would be better for me.
So the dumbest thing I've ever done, and this is pure honesty, this is probably, I don't know, 10 years ago. I got on at Crocker, and my Harley Davidson had 6 speeds. I've never been in 6th gear. Well, that day I went in 6th gear at $120, and I will never do it again. Like, it was probably the scariest moment of my life. But
it wasn't when you hit 100 wasn't scary? Just when you hit 120, it's like,
you want to hit that 120 in your mouth? Like,
that's where I'm doing it. 120, I can't do it.
Yeah, that kind of screws you out, man. It was
that is crazy.
See, that's the difference, though. You get in a motorcycle, you can get that thing going so fast. And like, I've never driven anything that's like, this car I'm in makes me want to go 100. Like,
I didn't get speed wobbles. Chad, how's your e-bike? How fast does that thing go?
It only goes like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, 30.
Well, so if you're in a 25 and you're going 30 on that thing, you're technically speeding. Do you feel like
I can technically speed on a side street? Yeah. You pulled over by a cop. I noticed you're going 29 in a 25, sir.
Sorry, ticket. Sam, what is your take on the Shedeur speeding?
My take on the Shedeur speeding is, okay, so like a week or two prior, or whenever it was, he got caught doing something, speeding. Duh. Next time he's dragged. They're racing now. Okay. I really think he probably learned a lesson. I really did, because now all of a sudden,
his second time.
Well, hang on. I think it becomes a problem when it starts being more consistent. So consistency is more than 2.
Well, he has 3 speeding tickets, so he has a problem then.
Okay, well then he has a problem then. So
he does have 3 speeding tickets. He had 1 in college and 2 here, but
so 1 in college and 2 here. Okay, so all right, so then that's been a problem. I say I didn't know about that. So he needs to slow himself down. Obviously, I wish I could have been on a fly on the wall when he got a call from his dad, because I guarantee his dad called him and laid into him. Guarantee it. I also say this. What am I missing? The comment here? Oh, you guys laughing at a comment. What they need to do is, when something like that happens, they need to sit down. You know what? How soon we forget what happened to Myles Garrett and his Porsche? Could have killed himself and his. He could have killed himself and his girlfriend. So
all that talk about Henry Ruggs getting out of jail.
When something like that happens, my thing is, hopefully they do sit him down with a Miles and he could say, hey, man, look, man, here's what happened to me. And it could have been really bad. And I got out of that. I hurt my shoulder, could have cost a career. I could have killed the person I was with. And me, you know, I've been in, I'll say it now, I've been in a lot of trouble. I've been in all kinds of trouble, and, you know, and I ain't been in trouble in a long time, but you know what? I had to pay for everything I did, and I had to serve my time for all that trouble. And that's not stuff that I want to get in anymore. So that's just how it goes, man. You got to learn from that, or it works out two ways, man. You either figure it out or it's going to figure you out. That's how simple that works, man. And unfortunately,
Sam, it's worth piggybacking on what you just said too, of like, tell them what could happen. Like, there's this big chatter out there now about Henry Ruggs just got parole. I mean, again, I don't think this was the biggest offense. It was at night. There was probably no cars on the road where they were. This guy was speeding through crazy traffic in Vegas. Totally different situation. But the idea was him driving like that ended up causing a wreck, killing somebody, and then he had to go to prison, and his NFL career was just over. So not the same scenario, but it's worth bringing up, like, you know, Miles flipped a car driving too fast down a country road. Like, even if it feels harmless, like your career could be over for something that's just stupid, really. Where it's like, that's a silly thing. You gain nothing from going 100 miles an hour down the road. Let's take
it back. Cleveland, remember Kellen Winslow? He was out there trying to be a star boy. Remember that? That didn't work out too well for him, you know. And he could have seriously hurt himself and put himself out of playing any football. So it is very serious.
Speaking of that, I have a couple guys at work that ride their dirt bikes down Denison like idiots illegally.
Oh yeah,
and there is a Browns player confirmed that does it with them.
I'm not going to say if I can guess who it is. No, I'm just playing. Can't be David Njoku.
He's a no.
Oh, Newsome.
Nope.
Guys, breaking news: Jedrick Wills is
riding a bike,
havoc on his motorcycle, according to Mike.
Oh man.
No,
it's a defensive guy.
Yeah, we're going to keep the name. Yeah, defensive people riding motorcycles with other people. That's going to be amazing. Speaking of position players, let's get into our tight end talk. Right, we're going to cover some of the tight ends, and we're going to end the Shedeur saying that we love you, Shedeur. Stop speeding. We want you on the field because we need to have numbers at quarterback. You or Dylan could possibly be your future. Okay, so let's take care of yourself because we need you. Absolutely. And I'm sure your dad wants you around too.
Absolutely.
So our first tight end we're going to get into is our number one tight end as of right now, David Njoku. Right, love David. His softball tournament just ended was last week. He's a fan favorite. His stats are pretty good. Can't read them because my eyes are bad. So who wants to read those?
I got you.
There you go. Geez, I'm getting old, dog.
Is that better?
Not great last year, but
time for them cheaters, Angel.
Yeah, well, yeah, not great last year because of injury. And the thing is, like with him, is the biggest thing with him in general is like he always seems to miss a string of games, whether it's injury or something major happens.
But he can burn a quarter of his body and still show up the next game.
Yeah, he just can't do it when he breaks his finger. 64 receptions and 97 targets, 505 yards. That's an average of 7.9, 5 touchdowns. 29 is his longest reception. And what is that?
23 first downs.
20, oh, really? That's what that means. Oh, wow. So that shows you the importance of him on first down. He has 23 first downs.
If you want to abbreviate it, you could just put it as EFT. That works too.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's why I think Barry Shuck last year said like anybody, like the problem with our tight ends is like anyone outside of once David goes down, we're going to struggle. And it kind of showed when he went down, like our offense sucked in general last year, but he got even worse once David got off the field because you took away that weapon.
What would you have? Jordan Akins.
Yeah, Akins. Yeah, Akins are pretty good, I guess.
Stepped in, he did okay, but it's just not the same threat.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like even if Jordan Akins was relatively productive, he's not the same threat Njoku is. And Njoku to me has always been kind of a disappointing tight end because for one reason or another, and sometimes it has to do with the type of offense we're running or the quarterback throwing the ball, but like you've seen the potential that this guy had since his second year in the NFL, where he had 639 yards, and then he didn't top. That was in 2018 with Baker Mayfield. He didn't catch that number and pass it again until 2023. And so 2019, 20, 21, and 22 were all a drop. So when we talk about all the time, like in that offseason, we talked about, what is a guy's breakout season? Like, what does that mean? And we said when basically he elevates to another level of like what he's capable of, that sort of looked like it was happening in 2018 in his second year. He went from less than 400 yards as a rookie, and then as a sophomore, all of a sudden he's got 640, and you're like, dude, this guy's skyrocketed. He's next year he'll have 800. Maybe he'll eventually get to 1,000. And then now he's been in the NFL for 8 seasons, I think. And he finally caught up and had a great year in 2023. But between injuries, quarterbacks, scheme changes, the guy just hasn't ever been able to consistently be just this top tight end target. And all you have to do is watch him have like one good game and see what he's capable of to be disappointed that hasn't been the regular. 882 yards he had in 2023, and I can't think of one reason why a guy of his talent can't do that year after year. And this year, I know we've got some other quarterback issues, but we've got quarterbacks that I fully believe can get the ball to him. And so I'm really hopeful that he gets right back on track. In fact, he might have been last year. He did not got hurt. He had 500 yards in 11 games. He might have gotten to 800 and more if he had all 17.
Right. And then now 2023 was a different season, right, guys? So now he had the yards that he had because we were under Kevin's schemes. And coming into 2024, we switched all that up because we had to cater to the quarterback I don't want to talk about. All right. Sure. So I think that some of that scheme, affected his play. It's that simple. I just think a lot of that changing of the offense, and there was a lot going on last year that was different in 2023 on that offense. So, and now we're getting back to Kevin's scheme and how he likes to run that. So this could be another good 800 plus yard season for Njoku. And like I said, now we'll get to him, but I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but Fanning's going to be somebody you're going to be hearing about that's going to be setting it off with David Njoku. So let's go.
Google's going to step in and say, quit adding a G to this dude's damn last name. It's Fannin Jr. Fanning is not a thing.
Fannin.
You all have done it. I'm calling you all out right now. Fannin. Sorry.
Fannin.
I'm Google. That's my Google.
I'm just going to call him Finn just to bug you now. Finn.
I'm going to punch you in the face. Chad's favorite thing.
I agree. Harold Fananigans is going to be huge.
But let's stay with David Njoku for one more second. He does have his contract.
I do want to hit this comment. Don Fowler says, crazy drops have always haunted him too. And it is one of those things where, to me, David Njoku is not a crazy blocker. And he's also one of those ones that grabs these highly contested passes, but will miss a wide open pass constantly.
And I don't think it happens like at the craziest frequency, but it seems to happen at inopportune times where you're like, oh, there we go again. Like where it's 3rd and 4 and he's open at 6 yards and it just falls through his hands and you're like, no.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating timing.
Yeah, it is a contract year for him also. This last year of his contract. So that's going to play big too, whether it would be nice for them to extend him. But
he's got to put up those yards.
Yeah,
We need another good 800-yard plus season out of David.
But
honestly, do you think that's the reason we picked up Fannin? Because honestly, we're paying Njoku $13.5 million a year.
Well, you're going to have to pay him more than that next year.
That's my biggest
thing.
So
you have to probably pay him top five tight end.
I don't disagree with you, Mike, but the reality is you need multiple tight ends if you're going to do this,
especially Kevin's
way you want to. Yep. And so, like, even if you re-sign, you're not looking that different from like the Ravens drafted Isaiah Likely, an incredible pass-catching young tight end, and then they had Andrews, and now they still have Andrews with Likely, and now they're just paired, and eventually could Likely be the predecessor when Andrews eventually plays out his contract, yeah, I would see more of that. Like they could re-sign David, Fannin comes along, and then the next contract they can move, and Fannin kind of takes over that role.
Takes over. Yeah.
What do you think the possibility of that being an unlikely situation is?
I money wise, I think if they don't feel they can get Njoku where they want him from a contract perspective, they have their tight end of the future possibly, so they can
overpay him.
Yeah, they're not going to overpay him. I think and I think one thing this organization doesn't do, outside of the one mistake, the name that we shall not name, they pay within what your value is. That's why you see certain players go out, test the market, and come back and either sign somewhere else that they're saying, hey, that's a little too much. We're not going to overspend because we paid a guy that we shall not name.
Or they get disgruntled players at a discount. Like they're much more likely to take a disgruntled player for lower than to overpay another guy. They overpaid Miles. Miles is going to the Hall of Fame. A little different
you have to do that. Yeah.
The one thing, like when you guys talk about quarterback trade, that one outlier in so many ways goes against everything that this organization and the philosophy of the front office. Like you can almost always say, like, aside from that, because that one thing in every way goes against smart, tough, and accountable. It goes against like guaranteeing like more money than you want to. It goes against giving up draft capital when they love to get draft capital. It's just comes down to really like that one contract really went against everything. So it's just
Angel,
the way to think of them.
We were trying to pop up, both of us were trying to pop up Ian's comment, and then he put it up. I would take it down.
He said if they didn't pay Chubb $3 million, no way they're paying the Chief. That's apples to oranges, my brother.
Yeah,
apples to oranges. Chief has been outside of some droppies and little nicks here. Like Chubb came off of a major surgery. Yeah, and they tried to. Yeah,
and then they drafted his replacements, two of them. And then they can't have him because there's just not room.
And they have Ford, who dropped his contract to make him, play on the team. So, and again, you need two tight ends on this team. We're going back to the two tight end offense, play action. So you need two tight ends, whether it's Chief or next year you just draft somebody else in the second, third round. Then you have two rookies that are outstanding, young, and rookie contract.
On an opposite note, Ian also said he better pray for Joe Flacco, and he probably is, because that's when he had his best year, was when Joe Flacco was. I mean, his numbers during that.
And we were working Kevin's offense. So
him and Amari Cooper blew it out of the water when Joe was there. So yeah, he probably is hoping for somebody that'll fling the ball to him.
Well, what would help David also is having his future predecessor, Harold Fannin Jr. Step up this year. Well, step up his rookie year. Have a good, what we call it, a breakout rookie year, Chad, because everyone has a breakout year, it seems like. There's really no stats that we can compare this guy to, other than he did lead the NCAA in receiving yardage, right? So that's encouraging.
Incredible college career.
Yeah, incredible college career. And he did it. I know he was at BG, so people think, oh, it's Bowling Green, but he did well against teams that were ranked when they played him this year. So there's no, to me, I'm not worried about it. Every word out of camp about this guy is he's consistent. He doesn't drop passes. Somehow he finds open. Somehow he finds he's just open every time we don't understand it. So I'm excited to see him.
He also finished his college career at 20 years old. So much in the shadow of David Njoku, he's coming out early at a pretty young age, and he's not that experienced of a tight end. So they drafted him looking at what his skill set and what he was able to produce, even like you said at Bowling Green. But when he played good competition, it did not hold him back. And you have to look at that and go, okay, so there are some question marks there, but they're gambling on that upside. That is a very upside pick. And what's interesting is tight ends very often take a little while to get going in the NFL because it's such a complicated position. However, because he's such a good pass catcher, you could see him getting out there for more pass catching routes, lining up in the slot, things like that. Whereas other tight ends often have to do so much more. So they may have a role for him where they take away a little of the burden so that he can get out there and produce quicker. And that's where I think you're going to get to see him make some plays right away.
So, like what you're saying too, because I kind of think this, Chad. I'm envisioning him coming in and being a right away being an impact player, and with him, I see him doing this. So, with him, if it happens for Fanning, because I said it, Fan. So listen. So if he does come out and he starts getting the ball a lot and making great plays, defenses are gonna try to key on him quick. Like, look what they're doing, and you know what that opens up now for Chief. So it's gonna be some give and take.
If they don't get out there on some
give and take. It's going to be some give and take at them tight end positions, because you are going to have two really great tight ends, and they're going to be getting the ball to both of them, but you're not going to know which one, because I think it's going to be like that. It might open up gates for either one of those guys. So I think with these two tight ends that we're speaking of now, I mean, sky's the limit for both of those guys right now. So
obviously they're number 1 and 2, but what would you guys think of a 2 tight end set out there? Obviously one can block
on certain plays. It depends
12,
what we're doing. It depends what we're doing.
12 personnel.
It depends if it's 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 20. It depends what we were doing. Period.
Well, here's another thing. In our notes,
3rd and 3. 3rd and 3. What we doing? I don't know. I'd like to see a jumbo package out there. And then let's go. Let's, put a split back. I hate that they don't do it, but I would like to see a split back formation sometimes. Okay.
It doesn't happen too often anymore, but
yes, and have the two tight ends out there. Put that jumbo set out there on a 3rd and 3. Let them guess what they're going to do. Are you going to just go ahead and hand it off to Ford or Junkins and let them bowl through the line? Or are you going to skip it out to Sampson and let him go ahead and just take off? Or are you just going to go ahead and get that little quick 5 yards on that 3 you needed from Njoku? Or you know what? You put Fanning on a post. The next thing you know, you got a touchdown. Let's go. That's the stuff I'm talking about. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
You guys want to see something we haven't seen in a while?
I always struggle with his name, but
Fannin's?
No, not Fannin.
Who's that former Browns tight end that was with us for like 4
Kellen
years,
Winslow?
and then they drafted him like 2020, and he was just 2020, 21, 22, 23.
Oh, Harrison.
Harrison Bryant.
Yeah.
Bryant. I can never think of his name. But
he went to the Raiders.
In that same realm, Harrison Bryant lined up in the backfield for short yardage quite a bit when he was here. Yeah. And so I think when you mentioned that, like having him in an H-back role, Mike said that he's read
Fannin in an H-back role?
Yeah. And Mike's read some stuff that he can block. We know he's explosive, and Harrison Bryant is not more athletic than him. So it does make you wonder if they'll do it. And then also, Sam, you had mentioned the Browns playing 2 tight end sets. So back in 2020, Stefanski.
I just pulled that up. I just pulled
that up. They're playing more than a quarter of the time, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sam, you got everybody fired up right now.
So hey, man, I think
this is realistic. I think
it's realistic.
I had no high expectations for a rookie tight end to come up and blow things up, especially like a 3rd round guy and on. Like, that's not like a guy ready to step right in and get it done. But because of the way Stefanski likes to play offense, because of the guys they have competing at quarterback, because of Njoku's injury history, and because we have no other big playmaking, pass-catching tight end, even when Njoku's out there to play in the 12 personnel, it makes all sense in the world for them to try to get him out there in some packages and utilize him without maybe like overdoing what he's capable of. And I think it's realistic.
It is realistic. I mean, because Kevin's always been. That's why.
Right now, bro.
That's why I was excited when they dumped everybody from last year, and Kevin seems to start to have control. They got Bloomgren, and they get Tommy Reese, and you start to see these are Kevin's guys. You think they're going to do the 2 tight end set, like maybe like the second receiver could just be consistent, then we'll be good, because maybe we're running 54% of the time and throwing the rest. Like, that's something we also have to remember. Like, not everyone's going to we're not going to be. I'm hoping that we're not a pass happy offense. I'm hoping we throw between 32, 35 plays a game, because outside of that, if it's Flacco or a rookie, you're going to be your chances of getting the interception ratio goes higher. And we'll talk later in the season or during this off time of why that's important for us to take down our turnovers, because obviously we haven't been doing well on that since 2020. But I'm excited for the 2-9
Just on a side note too, the Browns, he's an unknown. He's an unknown, I guess, a little bit, but the Browns' new tight end coach, Christian Jones, not only has worked with Stefanski in the past with the Vikings, so they're going to have like some knowledge of how they want to run this offense, but I believe he also interviewed for the offensive coordinator job, and they wouldn't have bothered to do that if they didn't think he was like a concept coach, like a coach that could bring ideas to him. So the fact that he's got Njoku, who's a pretty known quantity, and when he's healthy, we know what we got there. And then he's got Harold Fannin coming in as kind of like an electric college player. Like you do feel pretty confident that they've got a coach in place that can because this was Tommy Rees's position a year ago. So you do feel pretty good that they've got a guy. So Tommy Rees, when he's helping design the offense, he knows what he's doing with tight ends. So does Stefanski. So does Christian Jones. So you got a really nice coaching set for this scheme and for these players.
Yeah. Ian even just posted up something about is Shedeur throwing to any tight ends undrafted free agents. I don't think you need an undrafted free agent tight end, because
you don't. But I do think he has a tight end he's connected with on a couple of videos on repeat.
I actually think they cut him.
But I just mean, if you're looking at like, could somebody like Shedeur get the ball to a tight end? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think
if that's the word.
I think Shedeur will excel in getting a ball to a tight end.
Pickett's accurate enough to do it. Gabriel's accurate enough to do it, and Flacco is great for guys like Fannin and Njoku because they can really be down the field threats, and he loves sending it.
And that's the thing. Like people like the two quarterbacks they have behind Flacco and Pickett, they're Kevin's guys. Like whether it's Dylan or Shedeur, and I know we like 90% of the Cleveland fan base wants Shedeur, but even if it's Dylan knows how to run it. Is going to know how to run this offense successfully.
Quarterbacks love
He's accurate. Yeah, so you're going to get the tight end. So if you little insight fantasy, get a Cleveland Browns tight end, you might pan out well for you. On to the next tight end, Blake Whiteheart, Mike's guy.
I'm going to play something for you that I made up yesterday.
Yes, play it.
The catch heard around the world, Monday Night Football.
Very significant as they go with the win. Winston, downfield, reaching up. Can he make the catch? Njoku. No, that is Blake Whiteheart. Sorry about that.
Whiteheart,
29 yards. He was just active before the game.
Yeah, how about this?
You can see because of snow.
That is how unknown. That's how unknown of a commodity Blake Whiteheart is. And I almost wanted to poke fun on Mike for it being his guy, but that guy came a long way in 1 year because we highlighted a lot of tight ends with like the potential to kind of step up and do something when the season started. And none of those guys ended up around, and this guy ended up really.
And he's still here.
And he plays special teams, and he clearly he's somebody that they like because they didn't bring back many, and they brought
Watch that kid's Wake Forest highlight reel. Just watch.
Michael's up all night watching game tape.
I was like,
he was like texting me, and no, I'm just playing. He wasn't texting
hey,
me.
Mr. Whiteheart.
Look at this play from Whiteheart.
No, I was watching some of them OTAs. His name was catching footballs. I could tell you that. He was in the mix.
What's encouraging about him is that last year, whenever he received the ball, he averaged 8.5 yards when he caught the ball, which is encouraging. Now it was a limited role, 9 targets, 6 receptions,
but
51 yards.
You know what? Sometimes that's that under the radar guy, and they think he's just in there for that blocking, and they let him get out there. And the next thing you know, you got the 8 to 10 yards you needed. You don't always need those. You don't always need them in on every player. So it's the most important first downs you need. That's something you got to think about with Blake.
Yeah, for those that are unfamiliar with him, he was in Arizona, only played 2 games. He suited for 2 games. He didn't start. Has nothing there, and then came here for 11 games. Started 2 of those 11, 9 targets, 6 receptions, 51 yards, and the touchdown. 2 first downs.
6'4", 247
Yeah,
pounds.
I mean, they see something in him, like Chad said.
The kid
keep
can
him around.
catch.
He wouldn't be back. He wouldn't have been came back to OTAs and all that if they didn't see something in him. Obviously,
refresh. Yeah, such a chance to, and they did bring in new guys, but he's besides Njoku, who's the obvious. He was the one bring back, and so you're like, okay, so they're clearly seeing something in him. Yep. And he's young and he's not that experienced, and there's a lot of room to grow too. A lot of the things we said about Fannin, you could also say there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's that under the radar first down picker upper guy, man. That's who you need sometimes, man. So it's already in his small stats that he has, and then
like I said, he'll block, he'll play specials.
Yeah, yep, all around guy, man.
Made such an amazing catch. He thought it was David Njoku, only one number off.
And yes, I said he's so unknown. They saw the back of the jersey and we're probably like, who?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. When I watched that catch, I thought the same thing. You know, I was like, "Wow, man, good job, David." Oh, that ain't David. It's okay, Blake Whiteheart. What's up,
Not
man?
me. You want to know what I was like? Sign this kid right now.
Yeah. Mike loved him last year. Mike loved him last year.
So the Browns, they see something in him. They brought him back. Sure. So let's see what he can attribute to.
Yeah, and it seems like even in Wake Forest, he averaged in 2022. Because he 2023 was in Arizona. He even averaged 12 yards per reception there. So I mean, he's a big first down guy. So I mean, that's something to look at.
So the Browns either keep 3 or 4 tight ends on the roster most years, which means that may fill out the roster if it's going to be a 3 tight end year. I think all of us are expecting a lot out of the tight end position this year. And if they have the room because they don't go with Mary Kay's plan of keeping 4 to 5 quarterbacks, let's say there's no spot, and they decide to go with 4 tight ends, they've still got 2 other guys in camp that are probably worth checking out.
Goal line specialist, Ian said. Yeah, man, we can be a goal line specialist with that.
We saw Brenden Bates. You had mentioned
he just got
only
about to get to
the
the
NFL.
Yeah.
There's not stats. He doesn't have a lot to go on. Again, if you're watching those training camp videos, you'll see his name flash around a little bit. We'll find out if he stands out sometime during training camp. And those are the types of positions, those really unknowns, that you actually really probably will see and get some idea of for the first time in preseason. And I'm not a huge preseason game guy. It's going to be a little different this year. It's going to be there's definitely a lot more to see this year.
We got a lot.
There's
to
so
watch.
many
Wait,
rookies.
did you hear me on the dogs,
players.
Chad? Did you hear me on the dogs?
Yeah.
All right,
and so sad I'm going to have to watch these games this year. But the big thing is, that's where a guy like Brenden Bates can try to make some plays in preseason where the coaches notice here's what you look like at practice, and then when you're in the game, here's another layer you gave us. And then the one that I thought was even more interesting to talk about was Sam Cannella, who the Browns just signed from the UFL, from the Renegades.
Wait, he is Italian, so Chad and Sam are all over this guy.
100%
speak with your hands, guys. Go ahead.
100% sign him. He's on the team. Oh, this guy. No, so he's got an interesting story. I think the Dolphins originally brought him in. He ended up hopping around to 3 different NFL practice squads, and then eventually ended up in the USFL. In 2022, he made the all USFL team, and then in 2023, he was in the XFL and was on the championship team, won the XFL championship. 2024, he went to the UFL, and he was the receiving touchdowns leader for the league in 2024, which this kind of stuff reminds me of when we talked about Ralph Holley a little bit, if you can kind of hear it. And then in 2025, he also made the all UFL team. And those kind of stats remind me of okay, it's a different league, but much like with Ralph Holley being a defensive lineman who led the league in sacks, which is not typical of a defensive lineman, you see a tight end who leads the league in receiving touchdowns, which is also not typical of a tight end. So I feel like the Browns have become pretty clear that they're willing to turn over every stone to find these guys. And when they see somebody who's doing something that's really stand out at a position they think they can coach and bring somebody in.
You guys appreciate James' Frank comment?
Yeah,
I got him. He got a love for me.
Give me a little some of this, James. But yeah, so I think it's pretty easy that they're looking in some like untapped talent because the guy's just doing things that other people aren't doing in these other leagues. And we've talked for years. It's been a giant discussion about how the NFL doesn't have a great developmental league. It's pretty much college, and then you either make it in the NFL or you don't. And some of that stuff's coming around with the CFL being a place where NFL teams are not afraid to pluck from anymore. And then every once in a while they take somebody from a different sport. Now they're grabbing some guys from the UFL. So I think that's a good thing. And like I said earlier, tight end is a slow position to develop in sometimes. Not everybody's going to be Brock Bowers. You have a lot of these guys who come out and it's 27 years old when they first like really blow up, or 26 years old. They've been in the league for 4 years already. And then all of a sudden, boom, something clicks.
Yeah, they're seasoned guys. They're veterans at football. They were just in different leagues that you did never see them come from, you know. So there's a lot of things that can be plucked. Like you said, Chad, they can pluck a lot from them and they can learn a lot from that. They've actually been doing that more often now. So especially when you need certain things, that's an outlet to go to. And why would you not? Especially if these guys are putting up numbers like you just said. That guy's leading the touchdowns. I mean, that's important. I mean, you're like, okay, well, you know what? This dude can catch, and he can. Let's go look at the tough. I'm sure they weren't contested. I'm sure some of them were very tough. It wasn't just open. Oh, he's good. I'm sure. I haven't watched it yet. Now I'm gonna have to go and watch. I want to see some of his film now too, because I'm really curious now. So, yeah, let's get it, man. Definitely.
Yeah, that's our tight end room so far this year. It should be a good competition. I think the top three we can say safe is Njoku, Fannin, and Whiteheart. I think there's going to be a fight for number 4 because I do think typically
Angel,
they do.
I
carry
appreciate
34.
you.
But
No.
I do think the tight end is going to be important this year. We're going right back to it, like Chad brought up. In 2020 is where, when we look at this offense, we need to look at that year as far as how this offense is going to run. But hopefully, Tommy Reese is going to add some wrinkles and make it look a lot more updated and fresh. I'm excited to see what Samson does as receiver. I think that's going to be a wrinkle that we're going to explore. And as the season develops, it's gonna be pretty.
They have a unique collection of pass catchers, and I would say in a pretty questionable wide receiver room.
Yeah,
they've got guys who can catch passes from other rooms that really might help even that up this year, and they're going to need it.
Yes.
One other thing that's not on our notes that I do want to touch base with. It was in front of me, but I want to see less of these this year.
Yeah. We're gonna have to finish preseason with a please just do the right thing speech for the team, because the last 2 years, like, these penalties have been atrocious.
You took atrocious is exactly what I was going to say too, Chad. Yeah, there's no other word for it.
We only got a couple notes left. Let's blow through these.
All right, so here I got a quick question for you guys. I'm gonna go right into it. What starting quarterback is your ideal scenario, and can you start a rookie quarterback or any position? Any position, can you start a rookie? Is my first
at any position, yeah.
So I had wrote this because I've seen so many people come out and say you can't put a rookie quarterback out there, like, under any circumstance. And I can just straight up say, like, I completely disagree. We've seen. I don't think you thrust a rookie out there or force a rookie out there, but there is a fragment of the population who are convinced that there is no circumstance where you can start your rookies. You have to start with your veterans and bring in the rookies later. And I just can't agree. Like, you're looking at, and since we're talking about quarterbacks, we're talking about the quarterback. If Dylan Gabriel looks like Russell Wilson through training camp, do you just not tap that potential and see if it's true or not, or do you just say, like, nah, because he's a rookie? Like
you're totally right. I mean, like even if Shedeur comes out of training camp and he's blowing the doors off of Flacco and Pickett and Gabriel, you probably want to go ahead and go with that. I'm going to say that, and
what if the team knows, right? What if the team's watching practice and they're like, this guy's the guy. And then you're like, yeah, but we're going to sit him for a while because we don't care about losing the first couple games or developing him. We just want to, the rookies can't start or something.
That's definitely going to tick a few people off. And I think we had enough of that going on when we had the quarterback I don't want to talk about. I'm sure there was guys there that was done with him too, but
I'm so glad we didn't say his name today. So that's awesome. Let's keep that going.
But I see what you're saying too, because I was a firm believer in sit them. They're new, they're rookies, give them a chance, let them develop. But if they're out there blowing the doors off, if it's Gabriel or if it's Shedeur, and they're blowing the doors off in training camp, you might just want to go ahead and see if you got a Daniels out of that. You know what I'm saying? Because Washington,
and I don't expect that, but like just the philosophy, like you just never start them no matter what. I'm like, that's crazy.
No, right.
Thank you, Sam, for saying that.
Right.
And so you know what? In the last 5 years.
I would like to see, I'll say his name first because Angel likes him. I would like to see Pickett, or I'd like to see Flacco out there. I would like to see Flacco, or I'd like to see Pickett. If they're blowing the doors off in training camp, okay? And when they're doing that. But now if one of these rookies is going out there and they're like, everybody on the team and all the coaches and the staff are like, OMG, you know what I mean? Like this guy is out here just killing it right now. You have to go ahead and do it. You have to.
Angel has something to say. So do I. Really quick though. Listen, hold on. Really quick.
Listen to me. He was like, "Oh God."
Really quick before we get into it, you said it, Sam. Jaden Daniels is the first rookie to come out and shine. How long has it been since we've seen a rookie quarterback?
We might have him sitting here. We don't know.
I know, but when was the last time that you guys remember a rookie quarterback came out and shined? Chad, I'm going to ask you that question.
No, hang on. Go ahead, Angel. I see Angel over there rubbing his eyes.
Just in
general.
All
of a sudden, he got a sinus infection. He's like, this dude. I want to hear what Angel got to say.
I think you just pointed out the last one who came out and shined. It was Jaden Daniels.
And how long? Probably a decade or more, correct?
Stroud came out and shined. Stroud the year before that.
So we're not too far off.
Joe Burrow was incredible.
We're not too far off.
These guys are earlier draft picks. I was thinking more like nobody expected Russell Wilson to get drafted where he was and be the best player in camp. But because he was, the Seahawks were like, well, we're going to play him.
Yes.
Because he turned out to surprisingly
was a third round
draft pick. If they thought Russell Wilson was going to be that good, they would have just taken him in the first round. Nobody expected
CJ Stroud. All right, guys, I'm sorry.
Hang on. I want to see what Andrew was over there like he had a sinus.
You guys missed Chad's point. You guys missed Chad's point when he said Russell Wilson. You guys are looking at Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champion Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson coming in the league was a third-round pick. And the reason why they were surprised because he was a third-round pick. And they're like, holy crap, this third-round pick just beat out Matt Flynn, who we paid millions of dollars to start here because he'd played good in Green Bay.
I mean, he was drafted to be the backup and maybe a developmental guy.
He surprised people.
Yeah.
So,
okay,
guys, he's a 5th-round pick, and I know a lot of people is like, well, he's a 2nd-round grade, but he's a 5th-round pick, and we're seeing why he was a 5th-round pick. Also, too, let's not forget that our team isn't perfect, and you want to start this rookie guy behind a line that you're not sure of yet. I let you talk. I sat there, rubbed my eyes.
But you're changing the narrative. We never said we wanted him to start.
Said if he's tearing it up, you wouldn't start.
Tearing it up, and he's the best player.
But you're saying he's tearing it up in camp. He's going to tear it up in camp. But if you put him on the field with the offensive line that look at
camp, in front of Russell Wilson,
that's how you figure it out when you have preseason games.
You would have put out Matt Flynn and been like, the whole team knows Russell Wilson's better, but I'm going to put out Matt Flynn because this is only training camp. That's what you would have done? Because there's no way I would have done that. You would have changed NFL history, potentially.
We'll see what happens.
I'll wait. you're
good. I mean, you're going to put. Don't we want to put the best out there?
He said nope.
I'm literally trying to answer you guys right now, and I have not been able.
Yeah, but you can't change our wording. You can't say we're saying we want the rookies to go out. We're
Just want the
saying
best out
if the rookie's the best, we're okay with the rookie going out.
Sure, if the
We would
rookie's
never
the
hold them
best,
back.
but you're
Right.
saying the rookie's going to be the best, then sure, yes, you run the rookie out, but realistically, the rookie's not going to be the best here.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
we don't
not.
never know,
Probably.
Angel. You don't
No,
know
I
either.
do know
We don't know.
because
How do you know? You
how
don't
do
know.
I know?
You're not
Because you have
God. You don't
you
know.
have you have a guy who hasn't even developed the playbook yet. And
What
he's
if it's
barely
Gabriel?
throwing
What
against
if
the third or
Gabriel's
fourth
out
round.
there lighting it up, bro? And you're like,
Sure.
well,
Yes, we'll roll him out. But I would
I mean,
say
from a
I would be
statistical
as a
very
standpoint, I get it.
and I
careful.
love you guys, dude. I love you guys. But as a
Very
Browns fan, don't we want to see the best on the field to win these games? And if it's happening during training camp and they're proving it through preseason, you gotta pull a trigger. You got to do it.
Probably isn't going to be the case.
If they're
Probably
being
not
that
gonna happen.
good. And I'm talking about they have to, like, everybody and everybody, the reporters, Mary Kay Abbott, and everybody's going to be tripping like, oh my God, we found our diamond. You wouldn't put them out there? You have to.
okay.
All right.
Sorry, Angel, go ahead. Answer the question.
Okay, thank you. Yes, you put them out there, they're the best. Sure, that is the correct answer. But again, this is what's going to happen. He looks the best. You put him on the team, you start him. The first 7 games, he's going to be throwing picks. He's going to be getting hurt, tackled because he's learning the team. And I've seen it here many times before. Where we start and you have this guy who has so much potential get ruined because we are rushing this quarterback that we thought was ready. It could have been ready. You're right. He could have been ready if we would have just slowly push him instead of just thrust him on there. Now, I'm going to trust AB. I'm going to trust Kevin because I have full faith that they're going to know who, if it's Shedeur, if it's Dylan. And to answer Ian's comment, I don't care who the quarterback is. If it's Shedeur, if he's better, then great. If it's not Shedeur, if it's Dylan, great. If it's Pickett, great. If it's Flacco, great. But I personally think I would feel safer if we just let this guy just be in a crock pot for a little bit and just develop a little more. Even if you think he's ready, he may not be ready because the speed can ruin him mentally. That's all I'm saying. But I could be wrong. And I probably am wrong. Because I have trauma. I have trauma. I have quarterback trauma.
I was the
okay?
same way.
Don't judge me.
No, we're not judging you. Nobody can judge nobody, man.
Skeptical after seeing every rookie the Browns have
Every
ever put out. Usually
rookie
too
has
early.
been damaged.
The thing is, though, most of the time when they put him out, I'm on the sideline in terror, like, no, there's no way that guy can play yet.
And the thing is, like, everyone's
anyway.
saying, the Browns have no talent. So you're going to bring this quarterback out with no talent other than one receiver, possibly 2 good running backs, maybe 2 tight ends, and it's going to develop over time. So he's going to be learning while this talent's developing. And then we're going to be like, well, this dude sucks. And then you're going to go into next year with the process of thinking, well, Shedeur or Dylan or both wasn't living up to our expectations. So now we're going to have to draft another quarterback because you know what happened? We rushed this quarterback on the field, and now we have 3 rookie quarterbacks or two quarterbacks going into the second season and 1 rookie quarterback fighting to see who's the best guy when we rushed everybody on the field like we always do. I get it. We want to see I'll tell you that. We want to see Shedeur. Everyone wants to see Shedeur. We want to see Shedeur throw the ball 90 yards for a touchdown. We want to see him run out the pocket. We want to see him light it up. But the possibility of it happening game 1, to me, I've already concluded in my mind it's just not going to happen. If it does, I'm going to be so excited that I probably will pee my pants. But I'm telling you.
That's where I agree.
I
don't think it's that likely.
I don't want it to have to be Shedeur. I want the best out there. So I am still here with Gabriel. If he can go out there and show everybody that he's top notch, I'm down with Gabriel. I'm down with Shedeur. Now let's think about something real quick. Now, what if next year? Okay, this is a crazy thing because it could happen. It's Cleveland. We know how this goes. All right, so next year we keep Dylan on tab, sophomore year coming up now. Shedeur on tab, and then we draft another quarterback, another rookie quarterback. Now we got all these young dudes in there. It's a possibility, and Pickett and Flacco are gone. Then what's going on? What are we doing?
Chaos.
You want to talk about a circus? That would be a
chaos.
Circus. And
That's chaos.
My number one prediction of what I think will happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, that could happen.
It's chaos, because then you have your Shedeur fans like, why ain't Shedeur playing? Well, because of reasons X, Y, and B that we saw the year before. Same with Dylan. And then you have, if you draft a quarterback first round, the first pick in whatever that is, you got to start him, right?
Well, one would assume.
No. No. Listen,
You
guys.
don't have to, but you usually do.
You usually, if you're drafting a quarterback in the first round,
Top 10, somewhere in the top 10, he's probably
you're not starting the guy. You're just not. So then you have fans now saying it's a conspiracy theory. Right. You guys are racist. You hate Shedeur. So it's like, no, like, come on.
First and foremost, listen, hold on.
Like the anxiety in my head, thinking ahead of time, thinking about this.
So at some point in this season coming up, we have to see what these
not if you're winning,
young guys
not if you have a winning record and you have a chance for a playoff run. You don't start the rookie if Flacco's killing it. Now the chances of that happening, I agree with Chad.
Well, yeah, you want to keep. I want more than 3 wins, like you guys want more than 3 wins.
Yeah.
Well,
put it this way. Right. If Flacco's killing it and the Browns are actually winning, you may not have a high enough pick to draft a top quarterback next year anyway. So then you can see your young guys then
playing.
Again, I don't.
Listen, guys. Listen to me. Hear this scenario out. Listen. No, hold on. Sam, shut the hell up for a second. No, listen to this. The guy was a first-round pick 3 weeks before the draft. What made the draft drop that far that the Browns were able to pick him up in the 5th round? You're a first-round pick. It was between him and one other guy to be drafted first in the NFL.
Literally 2 things. One, the
Speeding.
media, I think, overrated him just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Probably closer to a 2nd-round talent. And 2, just off the field and media, like concerns of like immaturity and just media like overhype.
Yeah, you can only speculate, right? Because there's some reports saying that he came in unprepared, thinking that he didn't have to read the book, that he was, hey, they draw up this play. I don't have to do that. Why? I'm sure. Like, there's speculations. Like, you don't have proof of that. Giants say this.
He was entitled.
Yeah, he's entitled. Like, we don't know that. Now, you can sit there and say you see some signs of that the last couple of weeks when he was speeding. He hasn't learned from that. You can see signs of immaturity, and you can see some of that. But when it comes to, like, why, teams probably got one-on-one with them, was like, yeah, we don't like the vibe. Like, we don't know.
If I'm being honest, seeing his interview, seeing like he's cool, he's fun, he's like very personable, he's always smiling. As stupid as it sounds, I could see teams saying like, oh, he always
too
like,
serious.
like goofing off, and he's not. We need somebody serious, and like we don't want somebody like fun. We want somebody stoic.
And if you go back to the softball game, and when
but if he can if he can be fun and blow the doors off of offense, then go be fun.
Sure, right.
No,
these NFL owners are old.
If you can be fun, if you can be a fun guy and likable, and you put up your stats every Sunday and Monday night, man, be that guy.
I mean, there's an NFL owner that didn't want to draft Cam Newton because he didn't like the way he wore his clothes. So it's not shocking to be like, I don't want Shedeur because of this.
XYZ.
Also, we're going to try to take a caller real quick.
Wait, CJ. 1 second. Wait before CJ calls. Also, too, Shedeur got ahead of all this at the softball game. And if you go back and listen to his comments, it's very immature. He said, hey, man, I'm just a boy. I'll learn. So he handled that to me, very immaturely. He answered a question on his own live stream, and he said, hey, in his words, I'm just a boy. Like, but you're 23 years old trying to make a team. You're a 5th-round pick. You're a quarterback. To me, he should have answered that question a little better. And maybe if he came in talking to a team that way, they would be put off by that. Instead of taking accountability, saying, hey, you know what? I messed up. Won't happen again. And saying,
let me Let me ask you real quick though. Was that question? I thought I could be wrong. That's why I'm asking. Wasn't that question asked by a younger kid, a child?
It was a guy that was carrying his camera for his live stream.
Okay, see, because I know he was talking.
Do you see? Do you see the signs of? Do you see the signs though? Do you see the signs of like teams would be like, he's live streaming, he got caught speeding, and instead of just holding it in till he's in the facility, keeping accountable to himself, he goes and live streams it and admits it, and then says, instead of just taking accountability, he takes accountability in a weird way of saying, hey, I'm young, I'm a boy, was his words.
Like
I'm going to learn. Yeah, he made a joke about it, like, oh, come on, guys, everyone's doing it. Yeah, everyone's doing it. Yeah, but not everyone's trying to make the NFL.
See, I thought he took that question from a younger child. So now if he did, and that was an adult, that is immature. So I agree.
So that's what teams see. So when people say, well, why did he drip to the 5th round? Those are the reasons. Those are the nuggets. When you're starting to see him out in the public, that you see that to me at least, I'm thinking, oh, that's why he fell to the 5th round.
Your personality doesn't mesh with a team. You have to be so friggin' talented for them to overlook it. I just think they're so scared of like that they're not going to deal with it.
Well, I tell you right now, I seen footage of Travis Hunter out there. He was I think it was kind of a nervous thing for him, but he was dancing on every OTA thing, and his teammates
I think that's what he does.
But I think that was kind of like a nervous tick because it's nerves. But I heard his teammates were like, "Bro, you ain't got to be dancing all the time, man. We're just
all right, guys. Listen, we got CJ on the line. He is live with us on the phone. He's my cousin. He is a Packers fan as well. But CJ, can you hear us?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear him?
CJ, how you doing?
Sounds good.
Good. How are you?
Good, man. How you doing? What's going on, CJ?
Not much. Just been watching the show.
So CJ, what makes a Green Bay fan calling the Browns stream?
He's my cousin, Angel. Leave him alone.
Getting forced to, I guess. I'm kidding.
They got forced to.
We do play them, by the way. We play them at home.
I wanted to make sure this was going to work okay, but CJ,
that does sound good.
Me and CJ talked quite a bit about the Browns and everything. What do you think about the Browns quarterback situation, CJ? You are a diehard football fan. I know this. What do you think the Browns should do in the quarterback situation as of right now?
Honestly, I think Pickett would probably be the best starting, or Flacco. Like, I don't know, the people that have experience.
You're going with a veteran.
Yeah.
What did he say? Sorry, I was reading the comments.
I'm going to end this phone call right now.
What did he say?
I believe he said Kenneth Pickett.
Okay, just wondering. Thank you.
I know. I mean,
I think we should have him call in every week.
But...
No, Angel doesn't think you're stupid for it.
I don't think
he's already rubbing it in.
I just think Flacco's probably losing his mobility, and then Kenny had all that experience with Jalen Hurts and a winning team last year. I think he has the confidence and everything.
While I agree to that, CJ, what rookie quarterback, if there were one to start, maybe say 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks into the NFL season for the Cleveland Browns, which one do you think it'll be?
Shedeur.
And why is that?
I really feel people are going to be disappointed.
I feel like they're going to start him because people have more expectations for him.
That would be a horrible decision to start somebody over another quarterback.
Yeah, I know. I agree with
done it
that
before,
too,
though.
No, we have.
His work ethic is also going to show a lot to the coaches too.
Yeah, that's a huge thing for me. We actually talked to Ralph Hall this weekend. Sam and I, Angel was bowling with his daughters. And I don't know if Angel, I don't know if Ralph talked to you at all. I know he talked to you for a minute, but we had kind of an insight that, Shedeur Sanders is one of those guys that makes the whole team laugh and it builds that morale. That's a huge thing for this locker room. I'm not saying that that's going to make you the starting quarterback, but it's just one of those things that could possibly lead you to that position.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to be liked.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely not.
It doesn't hurt when all your teammates like you, and if his teammates like him, chances are some of these young coaches might like him.
Right. So he's building camaraderie, and he's trying to be part of this culture that we have here.
And while we're on here, can everybody that's listening, can you guys all hear CJ as well? Just give us a comment real quick. We're trying something new. Hopefully it's working.
Ian says CJ's here for Kenny Pickett, so I'm assuming.
Oh, all right. I didn't see that comment. Yep. Well, CJ, is there anything, like I said, I know you're a Green Bay fan, but is there anything that you would like to add to the Cleveland Browns quarterback room talk before we end the show?
I think people are overreacting about like the ticket ordeal with Shedeur, because it's like a big thing with NFL players, I believe, but it shouldn't happen regardless. No, like anything, but I don't know. I think they're going to have to cut one or trade one for value or something.
Woof. I think they think they're going to do the same thing.
Yeah. It'll be Pickett.
I think they're hoping to do the same thing, but
that's a good take, CJ. And I can't wait to see you week 3. We'll see who the quarterback is. We'll have something to talk about.
Yeah.
Early on.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Week 3.
Grinder of a schedule early. We got teams with pretty consistent winning records over the last couple of years coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And while we got you on here, CJ, what are you predicting the Packers to go this year?
The Packers, maybe like 11 wins, 12 wins, hopefully. But the wide receiver room's kind of skeptical for me with all these young kids or younger.
I'll take one of them.
Man, not kids, of course, but
when I see you, I'm going to drop kick you, just so you know, buddy. I'll see you July 4th.
So confusing. Which of my great wide receivers should I throw out there? Meanwhile, we're like praying for Deontay Johnson to revive his career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, there's questions in the wide receiver room too in Green Bay, but they have talent and it's young, and I envy that situation.
100%.
oh yeah.
Well,
good job,
CJ,
CJ.
I love you, buddy. I will talk to you soon. Thank you for joining the show tonight. And
maybe we can have him call in during the Tuesday before the big game. Maybe we can interview him or just talk.
That. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll have him on the show. We're not going to have him call in. We're going to have him on the show.
That'll be cool.
Either way. Yeah, that'll be great.
CJ, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. I will see you in a couple of weeks. Are you coming?
Next week. Yeah, next week.
Oh, yeah. I said a couple of weeks. I'm way behind. Vacation does that to you. But all right, buddy, I appreciate you, man. I love you. I'll see you soon.
Love you.
Bye.
Oh, you sound good, Junior.
That feels like a good amount of show for today.
Sure.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was our first phone call, man. I just wanted to test some stuff out.
It was.
No, that was pretty smooth. I could hear him well.
Yeah, I can hear him good.
That was Mike's surprise. I knew Mike. See, Mike always has a surprise.
Always. Come on,
Mike's
guys.
surprise show.
Come on.
Well, it's going to a different level, man. And sometimes you have to have those live calls come in, and it's nice to check them out. I didn't know none of that was going to go down, and it sounded good. Sounded good on my end. It worked. So for future shows or whatnot,
I did text James Frank to see if he wanted to come on because he is our number one fan, I believe. And he said he's trying to get his Rugrats to bed. So I'm sure Angel has to do that as well.
One of these times, though, that's a great
Instead of go ahead. I think we're going to say the same thing.
I think like you said, in season, it'll be great to every once in a while have somebody pop on for 5 minutes to give a random.
Cool.
Random.
We're gonna give Chad's phone number out then.
Can you? We'll talk about that because I think you can do.
I'll figure that out. I will figure out something.
Voicemails. Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, also you guys can go to our website at beardedbrowns.com. I hit the wrong button and I'm an idiot. Go to our website, beardedbrowns.com. You can also go there, check out the Ralph Holly interview, and leave a voicemail for the show. If you want your voice to be heard for the show, just like CJ just did, that could happen. We could play your voicemail. We could talk about it, give our opinion on what you think about the Browns, and it's going to be awesome.
We're working on a few new things too. We got some front license plate Bearded Browns covers coming in. Angel has one back behind him, and mine's on my car. They are aluminum. It's no paper. They're nice. You could put a cover on the front of that, and you can have it forever. So you got some stuff coming up, and we're working on some new merch for you guys.
Chad, I will send you one. I can see him riding around in a California.
Oh,
yeah.
Chad, California, do you still have to have a front license plate like you do on the back, or are you allowed to have a cover on the front? 'Cause I didn't know.
I haven't had one, so let's just hope.
Chad's riding dirty in Cali.
I remember I bought a car in Florida, and I was
Put that on the
driving it in Ohio, and I got pulled over for that, and I was like, "What?" And I was like, I didn't even notice. I'm like, "Wait, there's not even a spot on the car. Like, there's not even like the screws where you put it in." I was like,
Yeah, they did away with that like last year. No longer need a front license plate.
This was
my car doesn't.
While I was still in college, but yeah, I was like,
So
I didn't know that was a law.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Next week, at least I know one thing we're going to do is reasons to be optimistic / pessimistic about the season coming up. We're definitely going to hit that up. We're going to talk about
little Madden NFL ratings too.
Yeah,
little Madden little game time.
The Browns are beasts.
We're going to try to hit up our predictions from last year too. It's going to be a little different show. We're going to be more less player centric, more of a our opinion centric. But either way, join us next week. We'll be here the same time, same channels, literally, because you're streaming us. So until next time.
Hold on, everybody. Let's try to do this at once. 3, 2, 1. Go Browns!
Oh, I hate that we just did that.
Until next week, guys, we will see you. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Thanks all.
Slow down, Shedeur.
Oh.
Did I get that in?
He did